my students have come up with a variant on the exercise called the machine, where everybody's going to be showing the order of the electrons as they stack up. All right, and I'll point at you when to start. Okay, so
my role is really kind of a combination of a superintendent and a principal in the public school system, but because we're different, it's not exactly that, but essentially I'm in charge of everything.
I am the Dean of Curriculum and Instruction here, and I'm also a social studies teacher, so about half-time administrator and half-time teacher.
So I taught for 7 years at Central High School, which is a rural public school in Maine, and then I taught 2 years at BAPST, which was an exclusively private school. And now I'm at George Stevens Academy, which is a town academy, which is kind of like a mixture between a public and a private school.
We've been, in one form or another, a high school since 1803, and we've been over 50 years the high school for the whole peninsula.
Blue Hill doesn't have a high school. So Blue Hill has a tuition amount that each of their students get when they go to high school, and then the Blue Hill students can take that tuition amount and go to any non-religious school in the state with it.
So the main difference is in how we're run and how we're governed. And the second big one is there's different educational laws that apply to us than public schools.
If 3 students during the year move somewhere else, then we lose several $1,000s. Whereas in a public school, you know, they can't just have whatever money they want, but their budget is a little bit more predictable.
For the students and our communities, we're really just like a public school. Like if you live in one of the 7 towns and you say, I'd like to go to George Stevens, then you can. One of the advantages to being a private school is that we can do fundraising. So we do a lot of fundraising. Every year we raise hundreds of thousands of dollars, which saves our taxpayers money.
You're not entirely reliant on state funding, so they can actually go out and raise money from the community. They can do that by both trying to get the local towns to increase the tuition that they pay, but they also can get flat out just straight donor gifts.
We have an amazing jazz music program. It's definitely one of the best in the country compared to even schools that specialize, very high-end schools that specialize in music.
They have just an absolutely award-winning, just wonderful jazz band, which is as good as a lot of the college bands I've heard at the school.
this is the roll book. I actually made it from a bunch of old Christmas cards. I really did have a box of old Christmas cards in my desk.
I teach chemistry and physics, which are kind of meat and potatoes classes. But there are other teachers there that teach things like oceanography and marine sciences.
Some of the other coastal schools, Deer Isle Public School has it, and Sumner has it, but you know, Bangor or Old Town might not have it. We're involved in a program called Ocean Studies.
You can find that at other schools, but if you take oceanography and marine science at George Stevens Academy, you go down to the ocean. You actually take samples from the ocean. You can see the ocean from the school. I mean, if you walk out in front of the school and look kind of off to your right, that's the Atlantic Ocean you see. So we are right on the coast, and the science department as a whole has a lot broader offerings of classes that take advantage of that.
But they look around and see what else is available, and all of a sudden nobody's happy.
I would like us to explore more ways that our curriculum can intersect with where we are, more ways that our students can connect with people in our communities. You know, the Blue Hill Peninsula is a really interesting place. It's got a great history in terms of maritime stuff, in terms of the arts and music, all sorts of things.
The school's been tremendous about having great ties with the community, and you can really get that when you are out in Blue Hill and people find that you work at George Stevens Academy. Everybody loves the school.
So it makes for a really cool community that's definitely different than any place that I've been.